With the outside face of the scoop created, it's now time to convert the bowl and prongs portion of the scoop into a solid. Now this is simple. Since this section of the part is a constant thickness, I can use the thicken feature, which applies a constant thickness to a surface body. But I only want to thicken the bowl, not the entire part. If this were a solid part, I would use the split feature to split it into two bodies. However, split cannot split surface bodies. Instead, I'll make a copy of the surface. This will produce two identical surfaces. I can then trim away the handle from one copy and the bowl from the other copy. The end result will be two trimmed surface bodies that together make up the complete outer surface. There are several ways to copy surface bodies. One way is to use the Move Copy Body tool, found at Insert, Feature, Move Copy. This works fine, but it has an additional confirmation if you copy a body without changing the copy's position. Another method is to use the offset surface, using a zero distance. Knit also works to copy a body, except in the situation where you want to knit a single body comprised of only a single face, such as the model I'm working on at the moment. Given the options, the offset with zero distance is the least troublesome choice. With two copies of the surface in place, I can now trim away what I don't need. Trim is a function we're familiar with at this point, but this situation is a little trickier than the others we've seen. In this case, we have two bodies lying exactly on top of one another. When trimming, it'll be difficult to distinguish which surface is being selected as the surface to keep or remove. To make this easy, I'll break this up into two steps. In the first step, I'll hide one surface and trim the visible one. Then, as a second step, I'll hide the already trimmed surface and perform trim procedure on the remaining surface. I'll start by hiding one of the surfaces. I'll create a sketch on the right plane and sketch a line between the handle and bowl regions. I'll then use the trim feature to remove one side. Next, I'll hide the trimmed surface and make the second copy visible. As expected, this surface was not affected by the previous trim feature. It remains intact. I'll launch the trim feature again, reusing the same line sketch. I'll keep the opposite side and click OK. I'll show both surfaces now, and you can see that I'm left with an isolated bowl section. This now allows me to use the Thicken feature to make the bowl a solid body. I'll activate Thicken from the Insert, Boss Base drop-down menu. I'll select the bowl surface and add 0.1 inches of material to the inside.